All right, hello everybody. Welcome to what I guess is going to be the first of many online videos as we transition fully into online-based classroom delivery rather than our traditional face-to-face instruction. Hopefully, despite all the craziness and stuff kind of being up in the air and uncertain, hopefully you've been able to at least have a bit of a standard spring break, get some rest from school, and hopefully we're ready to tackle the next several weeks in the remainder of the semester successfully. My goal here is to just give us kind of a broad overview of what the rest of SPCM 200 is going to look like for us, kind of as we move from face-to-face settings into this online delivery. Hopefully clear up any questions, comments, concerns that we may have, give us a broad overview of what the next several weeks will look like, and what the new course logistics are kind of looking like. First things first, I do want to take a moment and recognize that everything about this situation is a little bit up in the air. All of us signed up for this class specifically knowing that it was face-to-face instruction, expecting to be in a classroom, and also just beyond this class alone, the entire COVID-19 situation is a little bit unpredictable. So I want to take a moment, recognize that, and I'm sure that each of us have so many things going on in our own lives, whether that's taking care of our family, children, kind of dealing with our work, and there's 1,000 things going on, and that SPCM 200 specifically might not be the highest priority, and that's totally okay. The main thing I want to point out is that we have tried to design the course to be as flexible and accommodating as possible to kind of match all these situations, but of course we might not be able to plan ahead for every eventuality. So if there is a situation that comes up, or if you're kind of having a hard time, or if there's challenges, even if it's just as simple as like Canvas access, technology, anything like that, please know that my quote-unquote door is always open. Please feel free to email me, get in touch however you'd like. As long as you're open and being communicating with me, we can usually find a solution to just about anything. Our goal is to finish the semester strong, despite kind of these speed bumps and unexpected hurdles that we've been faced with. Along with that, I just want to point out again, yes, this is all very strange and unusual, and that I'm going to try to do my best to stay informed and pass along any information that I'm receiving from kind of my higher-ups, whether that's the department or the university. But of course, keep in mind that CSU has kind of created its own website where they'll be posting updates and information about COVID-19 or the coronavirus that's specific to CSU. So I do encourage you to at least check this website regularly. That's safety.hollowstate.edu/coronavirus. Just kind of keep tabs on this, and also, like I mentioned before spring break, making sure to keep up on your email is going to be really important, especially in kind of this unexplored territory of teaching a public speaking class but not face-to-face, which is a little bit unusual for all of us. If you've been able to find this video lecture successfully, that means you're looking in the right spot on the Canvas website. Also uploaded about the same time as this particular video is going to be a message from Dr. Tom Dunn. He's the course director. He oversees all the sections of SPCM 200. He's put together a little PowerPoint video that has a lot of details and information about public speaking more broadly, which will apply to every single section. It will be posted separately. I do encourage you to take a look at that when you get the chance. I believe it's about 10 or 15 minutes. A lot of the information that he goes over is actually going to be the same stuff that I'm covering right here. So if there is anything that after watching me speak you're still a little unsure about, I encourage you to look through that. But also, since it is a lot of the same information, I'm not necessarily going to include it right here, but know that that is available within this same Canvas module that you're seeing this video lecture right here. My goal right here is not to fill the full 50 minutes of time that we would normally have in class, because that'd be a lot of me talking, but really just to kind of give us the broad overview, at least this week, let you know where you can find a lot of the information and kind of start laying the groundwork for the remainder of the semester. With that in mind, I want to talk about what the broad objectives are moving forward. Obviously, things are completely different now that we're not in a face-to-face environment. Public speaking especially, I think, has a lot of challenges, not being in the same room as everyone. And so even though we had all these great goals as we were starting out this semester, and we're going to try to do the same thing as far as honing our public speaking skills, honing our writing and research abilities, the primary goal for me, and I believe it should be for you as well, is to just finish this semester as best as we can. And at least for SPCM 200, what that looks like is just finishing the remaining assignments and requirements that we had already had. Half of us had done our public deliberation speeches before the spring break, and half of us have yet to do those. So I'll talk about that in a moment, what that looks like, but that's going to be one of those main components. One of the other main goals is to finish the two other big speech assignments. That's the policy speech and the commemorative speech. Because we're delivering the class in an online format, that also means for all of these, you'll be submitting your speeches, recording them individually, and uploading those to Canvas. Again, I'll talk in a moment what that actually looks like. Finally, I had planned a specific digital speaking assignment where we can kind of practice and experiment with uploading videos and delivering content in a mediated fashion. Obviously, since everything in the course is going to be delivered in a mediated fashion, that assignment's going to look a little bit different. I'll be providing a little bit more information both in the Canvas module and in next week's video as far as what those assignment requirements are. But really, that's kind of like the big stuff. Of course, we will still have a couple of minor things such as those reading responses, which will be as usual, finishing up quiz number 3, but like I'll talk about, we'll be making a couple of adjustments here and there, and so I'll talk about those in a moment. And then finally, of course, the last course objective is to complete the final exam. I don't actually know what that's going to look like right now since we aren't able to put everyone in the same room, but just know that is going to kind of be one of that last major goal for us to get through. That's about it. The main priority for me is to provide access to all of these assignments and materials as much as possible and facilitate your own learning. But please recognize that this is going to be a completely different class than how it had been planned beforehand, and we're all kind of just rolling with the punches as we go here. So the main thing, like I said, is that everything that we had planned is a little bit up in the air and different. So as far as just logistics go, I've updated the course syllabus and the course schedule and uploaded some of those documents. You can access those on the front page of the Canvas website, but I'll also link those in this specific module here. Please take a moment, just look through those. The main thing that has changed is the schedule itself because we will be teaching asynchronously. And what that means is just we won't all be in the same room at the same time. So in face-to-face settings, we all knew like, oh, 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. we're going to be here in the same space learning and talking together. With teaching online, it's just really difficult to get everyone logged in or even in a video conference at the same time, and due to tech challenges, it's just going to be a little bit easier to do things asynchronously, meaning that we'll post videos, post content, and you can kind of get to it as you do. Because we're adapting this format, the schedule, of course, has to change pretty drastically, so take a moment to look at those updated syllabus and schedule documents just to have a sense of everything that's going on. The broad schedule, just to give us a broad overview, my plan is to upload videos and lectures and main content every Monday of each week, so that way you'll have access to it and be able to kind of look through that throughout the week. My plan is to post each video just like how this one is in a Canvas discussion post. This way we can at least kind of simulate being able to ask questions in class, so I encourage you if there's anything you're unclear about, something you want clarification on, or even just, a comment about an idea or a thought that you have, please feel free to make a comment below. I feel like a YouTuber right now. Feel free to drop that in the comments below, and I will do my best to respond to those questions and comments either in text if they're simple enough, or if there's enough questions about something, I'll do a follow-up video by Wednesday. And then generally any assignments and activities, rather than being scattered about with our deadlines, will all be due on Friday at the same time. That's just to kind of keep everything simple. Like I mentioned previously, all the major assignments that we have are going to stay the same. There, of course, will be a couple of minor details that change just for the online submission, but we'll be keeping all that the same. What I will mention is that one thing that's a little bit different is I might have a couple of minor small activities. This would simulate what we would do in class, where we might break into small groups and do a discussion or small activity. Each of those individually will be ungraded, but please don't feel like that means you can just blow it off and not do it. What that really means is it's taking the place of our in-class activities, and so if you don't do any of those, we still have those class participation points, and so all of those minor things will be reflected in those points there. When any of those come up, I'll make it really clear, hey, this thing that you're turning in on Canvas, it says it's worth 0 points, but it's actually part of your class participation. So for all of those kind of smaller mini assignments, just treat those as you would any group work that we would do in the classroom, and then make sure you're keeping on track for all those other major assignments as well. Another thing with the logistics is this whole idea of meeting or office hours, which at least for now, campus is still open. Most of the buildings, the libraries are still accessible, but the university has recommended that we limit as much face-to-face contact as possible. Totally fine, I get it. As always, email is still a great option to get in touch with me. I still will probably be checking it during normal business hours, so 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you email me at 11 p.m., I probably won't be able to get to it until the next day, but my goal is to be checking email regularly and getting back to you as soon as possible. I'm also currently experimenting with some other options to do kind of like virtual face-to-face meetings. Right now, what I'm leaning towards is using Microsoft Teams. This is something that we have access to through our CSU email accounts. I'll keep playing around with that, sending out more details. If I do get this working, my plan is to be quote-unquote on call every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. for the normal office hours. Of course, since it's this weird digitally mediated meeting, it's probably still going to be best to just like shoot me an email beforehand so we can plan ahead for that. Of course, I'm happy to meet with however is going to be best for you. If like a Skype call works best for you, if we need to do like a phone call or anything like that, we can sort out all of those details. Again, I think the best thing in kind of these uncertain times as we keep getting emails about policies that are changing is to try to be as open as flexible, and that's what I'm trying to do as well. So I will be on call and available Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., but of course just email me and we can figure out other options as well. Couple of other logistics. The biggest thing, all content is going to be accessible on the course modules page now. We will have kind of separate assignments, pages, and discussions kind of scattered about, but your best bet to make sure you're getting everything that you need for each week of class is to go to this modules page, and everything I'll organize. Here's the videos that you need to watch, here's anything that you need to read, and here's anything that you need to turn in, and it'll be kind of nicely laid out in these sections here. If you are having any trouble accessing Canvas, tech problems, or just not seeing it, please don't hesitate to reach out either to me or to the CSU Canvas support team, and we can kind of troubleshoot from there. My goal for the modules is to have one module per week of class, and then each one will have kind of subsections for anything that you're going to need. Like I said, my plan is to try to have everything posted by Monday of each week, and then everything that you're responsible for will be due Friday of that week. Of course, we'll troubleshoot. The biggest thing is to reach out to me if there are any problems or concerns that we have. If you were able to find this video lecture itself, though, my guess is that you're on the right track and we're able to find the modules page okay, and we'll just continue doing things like this for the rest of the semester. So those are kind of like the back-end nitty-gritty details. What I want to talk briefly about, I won't take up too much of our time, is just kind of looking forward for the next week or so, finishing up our speeches, and then also kind of what some of these next big assignments are going to be. The main thing is that because we're no longer in a face-to-face setting, all your speeches, you're going to record a video and then upload it to Canvas for everyone to see. My goal is to at least simulate this audience that we've had beforehand. Some of the speeches will have a little bit of audience interaction built in. And so what will happen is you'll upload this video and post it to a Canvas discussion board, and then everyone else will have the ability to kind of respond to questions, offer their own feedback as well. Given that we're kind of in this weird digitally mediated online setting, my plan is to personally kind of engage in some of these discussion posts a little bit more than I would in class, just to kind of facilitate that conversation. All speech outlines will still be turned in on Canvas, but there will just be a separate assignment for the outline and the video itself. I'll talk about that as we get to kind of these more specific ones. There is a separate document in this Canvas module that has specific directions for uploading. That has a couple of different methods that may or may not work for you. Again, my big priority is to be as flexible as possible, given that, it's kind of an unpredictable and different situation right now. So look through those guidelines. There's actually a mini assignment for this week itself, kind of making sure that you have everything that you need to upload any speeches, and also a chance for me to get a sense of any concerns or hesitation that you might have. So those will all be available in this same Canvas module as well. So please take a moment, read through those directions for uploading, and then take a moment to fill out that mini worksheet to kind of let me know what you're thinking as far as uploading goes. And of course, as always, even after this week, after we do that worksheet, feel free to email me if there's questions, comments, concerns as well. My goal is to be as open and as transparent and as flexible as possible. So like I touched on a little bit earlier, half of us did our public deliberation speeches, half of us didn't. Everyone who already did their speech, I'll post those grades. They should already be available for you. For everyone who has not done their speech yet, obviously we won't be able to do those in class. So what's going to happen is if you have not yet given this speech is you'll upload it to the Canvas discussion post. And what I'd like you to do is include those dialogue questions that you had prepared as a written text in the submission. So you'll do your entire speech spoken in a recorded video, have the conclusion, but all those questions will actually be in text format. This way, everyone else is then able to reply or respond to those questions. I'm not going to require a specific number of posts that you respond to, just kind of given the weird timing of it all. But I do ask that everyone in the class takes a moment to at least read through those discussion posts and at least try to respond to some of those questions. I will try to be doing the same thing as well. Given kind of this weird change in flexibility, we've moved the deadline forward a little bit. So all public deliberation speeches will need to be uploaded by April 3rd, that's that Friday, to that discussion post. And then everyone else, please try to read through and respond to as many questions as you can. All those specific instructions and that discussion post will be linked in this Canvas module below this video. So kind of with that in mind, I want to wrap up by just kind of laying out really clearly, here's everything that you'll need to do in the next coming days. By this Friday, that's March 27th, please complete that speech submission plan worksheet that's available in this module as well. You'll do that after reading the instructions for uploading a speech. This is just a way to make sure we're all kind of on the same page of what the plan will be moving forward. Then, if you have not yet done your public deliberation speech, please record and upload that by Friday, April 3rd. For this one, the main goal is to just kind of get that wrapped up, make sure you get it finished, and then for the next speeches moving forward, we'll be able to kind of talk a little more in depth about what it means to be speaking to a camera rather than to an audience. But for now, the main goal is just get that speech recorded, get it uploaded, and then for everyone else to respond to those discussion posts. So those are kind of the two big required things. Other minor details, make sure you're able to access Canvas regularly from home or wherever you're going to be working, and make sure that you're not going to have any issues. Make sure you're also familiar with the Canvas module organization and able to see all those readings. On that note, with readings, we'll still be doing assigned textbook readings, which you'll see in the course syllabus that's been updated here. If you don't have access to the textbook, it's not here, you didn't have it in the first place, please email me as soon as possible. We can kind of sort out some other options. And of course, if there's anything else, if there's questions, comments, concerns, hesitations, any issues, please don't hesitate to reach out. Like I said, this is a little bit confusing and different, but my goal is to get us through the semester. We're going to finish this class and hopefully be able to finish all your other classes as strong. Please don't hesitate to reach out if there's anything that I personally can do to help you. And as long as we're all open and flexible and in constant communication with one another, things are going to work out, hopefully for the best and with very few speed bumps. So take care, and until next time, have a great rest of your week.